Hi, guys, and welcome to Two-Face Wrestling Talk. I'm Kelsi, and I'm joined, as usual, by my co-host, Paul. We're back. Two-Face Wrestling Talk.
Did you miss us? Well, more importantly, I guess, did you miss her? I'm sure you didn't miss me, but...
I'm still doing content.
Yeah, but you weren't talking wrestling.
No.
Yeah. Kelsey's had a little bit of malaise about wrestling lately. So hopefully tonight and doing the podcast will perk her back up.
We'll see. Let us know you guys' thoughts on Elimination Chamber. Shout them out in the chat right here. We'll try to address as many comments as we can. We always like to do that to get you guys involved, like to include you. And we'll talk about our thoughts about the show as time goes on. We'll just kind of do a general rating, I guess, here at first. So overall, what did you think of the show, Paul?
It was decent. I mean, it wasn't spectacular. I don't think it lagged in any way, but it was decent. So, I mean, I guess I'd give it a B- or a B at the most, but, you know, I mean, nothing overly spectacular.
I was thinking along the same lines as you. I was actually just going to give it a solid B. I wasn't going to go B- because I thought there were some good points in there, and the weak parts were some sequences in the match, and some of the matches I thought were a little weak here and there. But other than that, it did what it needed to do. I do think, however, that the main event, the women's match, I thought that could have been a lot longer, more in-ring action, let's say. I mean, I know they wanted to have Shayna dominant, and I liked seeing her dominant, but at the same time, like, it feels like Asuka passed out as quickly as Liv passed out, and I think you kind of have to have Asuka last a little bit longer, and at least have some sequences in the ring with Shayna. It just felt so quick to me.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I think it was kind of Royal Rumble-esque in that they kind of had Shayna tear through everybody. Hey, Justin, how are you? It was, you know, I think it was that kind of thing where Shayna just kind of rolled through everybody. And the problem is there was no drama there because you knew Shayna was going to win. You know, there was no chance of a surprise or anything like that, really. So that's the only downside of that is, you know, Shayna was so dominant that I almost would have rather seen Shayna do what she did, but be the last one in the match.
Yeah.
Like that way, you know, because you got to see right off the bat, who was it at the beginning? It was Sarah and Ruby, right? At the beginning? Or was it Sarah and Natty?
What do you mean at the beginning of the match? Or the Shayna took out first?
No, the very, very beginning of the match. It was Natty and Ruby. And so they had a great showing, and then Sarah had a great showing. So I think if you're going to have Shayna dominate, you could at least had everybody else have the stage for a little while, and then Shayna dominate.
Yeah, I like that idea better.
Hey, Dave.
I also think that it was a good thing that Shayna was dominant, like we're saying, but at the same time, I'm happy that at least I think Natalya looked really good. I think besides Shayna, she had the best showing out of anybody in that match.
Yeah.
In terms of, she really took a beating.
Yeah.
And just kept going. And that's what I love about Natty. She never gets enough due props, in my opinion. So I like to see her shine when she can. And she had some decent sequences, and she at least appeared strong because she kept getting back up.
Yeah.
And I felt like she kept getting the brunt of things.
Yeah, so. She took a beating in that match.
She did.
Yeah, I thought Sarah Logan was impressive in the time she was in there. Michael, we get it. You didn't watch the pay-per-view. You're going to be very disappointed in this discussion because that's all we're talking about.
Well, and WrestleMania.
And WrestleMania looking ahead. But I thought, you know, the men's tag team Elimination Chamber match I thought was really good.
Can't raise my chair.
Oh.
I want people to see my Nickelodeon shirt.
Okay. Well, you got to be in the chair first of all to raise it up. Yes.
I want you guys to see my Nickelodeon
now
shirt.
Raise up. Push up.
How?
Push up.
I am.
There you go.
Okay.
Keep going.
You can kind of see Reptar now. That's too much. All right, that's good.
That's fine.
Now you guys can see it. Look, Nickelodeon. Yay. All right. I thought I could do that more easily.
Right off the bat, a question. Do we think Gulak and Bryan versus Miz and Morrison at WrestleMania? That is an interesting question because obviously
Bryan kind of nodded back at Gulak with respect.
And Gulak had a great showing because unless I'm wrong, he has not been on the pay-per-view stage. I don't even know if he's been in an NXT takeover or anything like that. So I thought it was a great performance by Gulak. And, you know, as you said, Bryan kind of gave him the tip of the hat at the end of the match. So yeah, I'd be okay with Miz and Morrison going against the two of them, because right now I don't know what else you've got Daniel Bryan maybe for at WrestleMania anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great point because, Daniel Bryan coming back, what are you going to have him do? He's kind of like in yet another phase of his career. It feels like he's going through phases every now and then of what he's up to, which is good. It's good to be versatile and always change things up. But at this point, it's like, what else is he going to do? The whole Bray thing's passed by, and now Bray's doing stuff with John Cena. And we'll get to that later because I do want to talk a little bit about WrestleMania and the plans that are unfolding. And Michael here is saying it seems like it was a setup pay-per-view. Well, yeah. That's kind of what Elimination Chamber has been in the past. And, I mean, when you're thinking about it being the pay-per-view before Mania, it kind of just naturally becomes a setup pay-per-view.
Right. The only thing is, and obviously we haven't had a show, but Roman got to automatically basically declare that he was getting Goldberg at WrestleMania.
What's up with that?
Roman should have had some sort of match in this to at least qualify, for WrestleMania, a number one contenders match or something like that. That, yes, this is a setup pay-per-view, but you could have had some other matches of consequence that set the stage for WrestleMania.
Right.
So Gulak has been on pre-show matches with 205 Live. That is true. But yeah, he's a solid competitor, and he was on 205 Live. And, obviously 205 Live kind of got buried. We've talked about it on the show in the past. It's after the main show in the big arena. It doesn't have the pop that it should.
Yeah. But it was way better when it was back, NXT.
Yeah. But when they had the cruiserweight tournament and all, or the 205 Live or 205 tournament, Gulak shined in that. So he's very good.
He is good, but you got to have a personality too to shine sometimes. It's like there's so many great wrestlers out there, and I know I say that a lot. If you guys are longtime listeners of our old podcast, and I say that a lot. You can be a great wrestler, and there's tons of them out there. You got to have something extra, I think, to shine and to stick out, or else you just become another one in the ocean, another guy in the crowd.
Yep. Dave says he hopes the match with Bryan gets him more because the match tonight was great. Yeah,
it was.
I was a little apprehensive about that leading off the show, but it was a really strong match. I mean,
it was a solid match. It was a good opener.
A couple of those Germans by Gulak. I mean, the one where he tossed Daniel and Daniel landed on the back of his head.
His neck folded. That looked really good. That was very powerful. And of course, commentary was selling like his neck's hurt again. He could be hurt.
Yeah,
I liked it a lot. I thought that was pretty good to cement that, he's in question. And let's talk about commentary for a second, because I was looking at, of course, people place different emphasis on Dave Meltzer's awards, but I saw that I think the readers voted Corey Graves as the worst commentator. And I'm just very surprised by that, because I know in his personal life, Corey Graves is kind of lame, but in his commentary, I think he's really good. I think he sells the match. He's a good heel commentator. He's entertaining. He's funny. He makes the competitors seem threatening when he needs to. So to me, he puts over the guys. He puts over the match. Sometimes a little heelish. He has it all.
He's heelish, and like the difference between him and King,
he knows more.
Well, not just that, but even if he is bad-mouthing the wrestlers, he's putting them over. Whereas like King with Humberto Carrillo is basically making it seem like the guy is a jobber, So that to me, that's the difference. You can sell that somebody's. I mean, like the best is Corey Graves bad-mouthing Sasha Banks.
It's the greatest.
That's the best. She'll stab you in the back. That's great. But when like King minimalizes Humberto Carrillo so much, and at one point called him Humberto Guerrero tonight, that's the kind of stuff I don't like. I mean, badmouth the guys for not being good people or whatever, because that's what you're supposed to do. But selling short their wrestling abilities, I never have liked.
I don't like that either, because, at the end of the day, even if you're a heel commentator, you're trying to get them over subtly. It doesn't matter how, or even if you berate them a little bit, don't berate their in-ring skills, though, per se.
After that Gulak Daniel Bryan match, there was an interview with Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler, and there was another one of the video glitches, and there's all kinds of speculation about that. I would love to hear some of your thoughts. Everybody seems to think it's Killer Cross, but then most people are thinking Killer Cross is going to NXT. So if it's not Killer Cross, then who is it? Who is the glitch?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I'm too out of the loop to have a guess.
Yeah, I'm curious, but I like that they're not calling attention to it. It's going on in the background. It's going on in the broadcast. So that part is kind of interesting to me as well. And I'd love to hear anybody's speculation on who that might be that is coming, and will that person show up at WrestleMania? Will they show up the night after WrestleMania?
I thought they would show up later in the show tonight after that glitch happened when, Ziggler was talking. I thought, okay, well, tonight's the night then.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen. The pay-per-view actually kind of flew by. I thought it felt really quick. I don't know. And I don't know if that's because it was just because some things were obvious, like the results were obvious a little bit, so it felt like it was quicker than it was, or if it really was a technical quick pay-per-view. I mean, how many hours? 3.5? Was it normal?
It was 3:45, yeah.
So I guess it just is a kind of perception that it was quick.
Yeah.
But it just felt super fast. I don't know why. Like I said, maybe it's because some of the matches we kind of might have known the result ahead of time.
Yeah.
Could easily speculate.
Justin Harrison thinks it's Mustafa Ali with a new type of gimmick, and Dave Pazewski agrees that it's Ali. So
yeah, it
could be. Mustafa's been off TV for a little while, so it'll be interesting to see if that's who it is. Going on, Andrade versus Humberto Carrillo. We mentioned King bad-mouthing Carrillo. I was a little disappointed in this match because I didn't feel like I thought Carrillo was great and Andrade was solid, but it wasn't like, I guess I'm measuring all Andrade matches against that series with Rey Mysterio last year, which were some of the best matches
of the year
of WWE all year.
Yeah. You see, I'm a little less harsh. Maybe it's because I'm not measuring it against that standard, but I thought it was a great match, period. I thought it was entertaining. It was high flying. I thought it was one of my, favorite matches of the night. I liked it.
No, it was a really good match. It was. Michael says CM Punk, just kidding.
Yeah, right.
Wouldn't that be something?
That would be something.
And I guess I didn't really like the Andrade ending either on the roll up because I get it.
I know.
I get it. He cheated, used the tights, but unless it's setting up for one final showdown at WrestleMania, which it might be.
Well, I like that. It's like heelish. It gives him the win. I don't know.
The men's elimination chamber match, I thought it was really solid. And the funniest part is Lucha House Party was awesome, but you knew they were going to be the first ones eliminated. But
we did get to see a really awesome flip off the top of the chamber by Dorado. At least we got that.
Yep, and then
before they were eliminated.
And Grant Metalik had a couple of great moves. He did the Zenton to the New Day off the top of the pod, and then did a Hurricane Rana off the top of the pod to Morrison. So Lucha House Party was awesome, but then after they hit their two great moves, they got eliminated.
Yeah.
But it was nice to look. For so long, they've basically been, the guys that are going to lose. You know, so it was nice that they got to be in the pay-per-view and got to show off a little stuff because they are really good, as we all know. But kind of got a chance to show for a little while, even if it wasn't. It didn't result in a victory or even close to it.
Yeah. What do you think about Ziggler and Rude working together?
Well, I like it in that I don't think anybody's overly excited about them right now, singles wise. So why not pair them together as heels? Then you throw in the Mandy Rose angle with Ziggler.
At least it's giving Rude something to do at all.
Yeah.
Because he was kind of squandering away, in my opinion. Dave has a good comment here about this tag match, chamber match.
Yeah, he thought it had a weird energy and that it was a little slower than he thought it would be. I agree with that. It almost seemed like there was some hesitancy. When Dorado did the flip off the top of the chamber, which was awesome.
Right.
I mean, swinging like a gymnast and releasing, it was awesome. But you could see the setup where heavy machinery. At one point, I think Tucker even yelled out Lindsay like he didn't know where he was going or what he was doing, and they kept looking back like they were confused what to do.
Otis looked confused the entire time. I don't know what was going on. He looked so confused.
And then the Usos on their splashes, again, I don't know if it was Jimmy or Jay, but
they were off sync.
The one was perfect. The other one kind of landed on his feet. And
he didn't get as high and didn't expand as much.
So I agree with the fact that this match was not as good as I thought it was going to be. There were some cool sequences. I mean, Tucker getting the show, his fantastic athleticism for a big man was awesome.
I love how he was trying to defend Otis.
Yeah.
That was my favorite part. Where he's like, you mess with my boy, I'm going to mess with you.
I like that Corey referred to Otis as looking like the Philadelphia Flyers mascot, Gritty.
Yeah,
Great line.
Yeah.
And probably,
and he is crazy looking.
Yeah,
so.
it makes as much sense as Gritty.
Yeah, that's true.
Otis ended up going through the pod to the floor, which was
that was epic.
a cool thing. It's one of those things, though. It's like he just kind of went through plexiglass. It wasn't a big.
People were excited about it. They were chanting "Holy S."
I know, but it was cool, and it was a cool visual. But at the same time, it wasn't like he went through real glass or anything. I mean, it was a piece of plexiglass that just popped out of
you gotta suspend your disbelief.
Popped out of the frame, you know.
It's like a movie. You gotta suspend your disbelief at some point and just accept it as that's pretty cool looking.
But the Tucker somersault off the top of the pod, I thought that was really cool. But like Kofi and Big E didn't feel like they did hardly anything in that.
I know, and it's funny because if you rewind back to Elimination Chamber last year, which we were there live, and it was magical because that was the beginning of Kofi's like Cinderella run. We didn't expect that after Elimination Chamber, people would be wanting Kofi in WrestleMania, but that's what ended up happening. So to go from that to Kofi now doing this, not that it's, I mean, he's still in the Elimination Chamber match, but it just felt like less because we knew that the end result wasn't going to be something bigger. Like, it didn't feel electric like it did last year. So it just wasn't the same. Well, it was kind of a bummer.
And you look forward, you know, he was in that match at WrestleMania, which was such a big deal last year and such a great moment. And now it's like, what are they going to do with Kofi at WrestleMania this year?
Maybe nothing.
I mean, he's got to be in some sort of match, but
they might be like,
is he going to be in that Andre the Giant Battle Royal?
That would be
I mean,
sad.
that would be a huge drop down. So,
or the New Day's like the, you know how they kind of just talk?
Hosts?
Yeah, the hosts.
Yeah, that would be
they
a
might
huge
do that
drop
again.
Down too.
Yeah, I mean, from winning the title at Mania to that, it's like a huge downer. But, you know, it is what it is. It really sucks. You know, I feel like last year's Mania, people complained about the build and about the Mania itself. But when you look at it, I mean, we had two great matches. We had the awesome Kofi moment at Mania last year, and we had the really interesting Ronda Rousey storyline with Becky and Charlotte. Now, this year, I feel like they're so over-relying on legends to go against the current roster. And this has been a criticism I've had of WWE for years. And I thought they were finally moving away from it. I thought, okay, they'll just do that during the Saudi shows. They'll go back and use the legends, but then keep kind of like the main shows current guys. No, all of a sudden now for WrestleMania, like 3 of your huge matches have old school legends because as we know, we'll get to Undertaker made an appearance, so it's looking like Undertaker and AJ.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking at Mania, which I don't really, honestly, I want to counter my own statement, but I mean, honestly, I like seeing Taker. I like the feel of it. And Dave had a great tweet. Good guy Dave said, I'll never stop popping for Taker. The moment that gong hits, I feel like a kid again. It never gets old for me. And I understand that mentality. And I can understand that completely. And I relate to it because I do get excited when you hear his music. But at the same time, like, he can't have that awesome match like he used to. So it's just like,
he barely could pick up AJ for that choke slam.
Exactly.
That was a weak looking choke slam.
And so that's what AJ is going to do at Mania, is have a match with him, and it's going to be short. And it's like, you know, that's a guy who could go with anybody on the roster currently.
Well, it's ironic. I'm actually wearing my WrestleMania 33 sweatshirt from Orlando.
Yeah.
And in that, you had Goldberg, which you thought was going to be his last match, going against Brock Lesnar. We had The Undertaker seemingly retiring after his loss to Roman Reigns, in a match that was not very good.
Yeah, it was terrible.
And so you thought both of those guys were done. Now Goldberg's the champ. He's going against Roman Reigns. Undertaker comes back, and he's been in the last couple, and now he's going against AJ. And then, you know, John Cena against The Fiend. That's
the one I honestly don't have a problem with, though, because to me, well, John Cena is still, like, in shape enough to have a great match. Yeah, he hasn't been around much, but I feel like this is their chance to right the ship. This is their chance to right the wrong. If you guys remember a long time ago, I think it was WrestleMania 30, around that time, Bray and Cena had a match, but I don't think Bray won.
No, Cena won.
Yeah. And so it's like now it's their chance to finally, and you know, Bray's had matches with other legends, including Undertaker, but never ends up going over. So he keeps missing his big opportunity to get a legend to put him over. So now it's like, now it can finally happen. Now, if it's the opposite way and Cena goes over, then I'll be sorely disappointed. Yes. But I'm thinking, like, if it's Bray, which it should be, then that's a good match, I think, and a good rub for Bray.
Let's go to a couple of the comments along those lines. Let's go back to two things that Michael says. He's tired of the New Day and would like to see a Big E heel turn. Now, that would be a great WrestleMania match if Big E turned against Kofi and they went against each other.
I don't want to see New Day break up. I like them too much. And I do have to say, somebody said New Day will probably be involved in a 4-way tag.
Yeah, well,
which could be too.
That's probably likely. But Michael also brings up a good point about Triple H, and there's nothing seemingly in place yet for him.
No.
Where I have thought since they announced WrestleMania, one of the main things I've been thinking about since then is how Triple H is going to incorporate pirates and the pirate ship at Raymond James Stadium into his entrance. So if Triple H isn't in WrestleMania, I'm going to be disappointed because I thought the entrance would be epic. So,
well, somebody's going to use that ship.
Yeah, I know, but he just always has the best entrances at WrestleMania. That's so using the pirate ship makes sense. So maybe they'll get him in. Who knows?
Well, we actually saw the arena before we go on. We just saw it the other day. We were there for the XFL. Mm-hmm. We went to go see Tampa play, and that was pretty cool. And so we went and looked at where our seats are going to be. Pretty darn good seats, I got to say, because we're going to be there live at Mania. So should be
for
cool.
Sure. Justin, good point. WWE always wonders why they can't build new stars. It's because they keep throwing legends big money to go over the younger talent and never let the younger talent get over. That's good point. Plus, he says Vince keeps changing his mind and giving up on people. Cedric, Ricochet, Shinsuke, all excellent points. I mean,
oh yeah, Shinsuke.
When's the last time Cedric was even on TV? Shinsuke,
he won the Rumble once.
Oh, Shinsuke. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. It doesn't feel like that.
I thought you meant Cedric. I'm like,
no.
I miss that?
Shinsuke. He won the Rumble once. Right. What? It doesn't feel like that.
Yeah, and Ricochet was so over when he came in, and now it's he's just a guy.
That's what people are saying. A lot of people talking about Ricochet this week. What the heck's going on? Well, last week technically, they're saying like, what the heck's going on? He's just losing for no reason. So he was doing so well at first. Now it's kind of like he's forgotten a little.
Well, and that kind of leads to the discussion of the next match because he and Alistair had such great chemistry as a tag team. It's a shame that they broke those guys up.
If they don't have anything else for them.
Right, because they were so good together. But, and Alistair seems like he's finally getting some sort of a singles push, getting the win tonight over AJ, albeit with the help of The Undertaker, eliminating the OC. But I like those guys together. I kind of wish they were still together.
And like I just said, like if they have nothing else going on, why not keep them together? And they'd be great contenders, for Miz and Morrison or whatever.
Yep.
That'd be something fresh, I think.
But in that match, AJ was going against Alistair. And
although aren't they on separate brands?
They are.
Yeah, but still,
I was just going to let that go.
Whatever. I hate the brand splitting away for the tag championships because you got such a limited pool on each brand, in my opinion, for tags. Otherwise, it's not a big deal. But tag champions, like, I'd love to see that matchup. That'd be fresh and cool, but you can't do it. It's separate brands.
Right.
To me, that would work, though, in terms of the idea of it.
I agree. Alistair, Victor, and as we mentioned, AJ seemingly on his way to a match against The Undertaker, which seemingly is a waste for AJ, but maybe for AJ, it's kind of a dream match for him that maybe he's always wanted.
I was going to bring that up. Like, there's another side of the coin where I'm sure AJ in his mind is like, I've always wanted this. This is so cool. Who would have imagined, like, me versus The Undertaker at Mania? Like, that's a huge deal. So to us, we're complaining, but maybe AJ's happy as can be with it. But at the same time, like, if you talk about match quality, and Mania used to be a special time to reward people who've done great all year long, and you get some great matches, like a few gems on WrestleMania back in the day. And now it's just like, it just feels like the spectacle has kind of superseded the in-ring. There's outside spectacle, but what about the in-ring spectacle? The awesome matches when it gets down to the nitty-gritty.
Yeah,
it just feels like some of that's missing.
Yeah, well, it's because they've made the show so big because they want to get everybody on it.
Yeah,
it's not as special as it used to be.
I don't know if that's a good thing, though.
No, I don't think it is at all. Next up was the Street Profits versus Seth and Murphy, and I wasn't overly geeked about this match, to be honest, and the crowd clearly was not. That was the deadest the crowd was the whole night, I thought, was for that match. But we talked about Corey's great line about Otis looking like Gritty. I like that Tom said Angelo Dawkins was looking like Brian Dawkins, the former great Philadelphia Eagle safety, when he laid the big hit. So
Lots of good references.
Yeah, good
there.
Philly reference. Another good Philly
sports
references
generally.
This match just didn't do a lot for me, except it's seemingly more than anything else sets up AOP maybe against the Viking Raiders, whether it's at WrestleMania or for a feud, and obviously KO against Seth Rollins.
KO against Seth Rollins, I can't wait for that. So I'm pretty excited.
The problem is that leaves Buddy Murphy in the dark.
Yeah,
what happens to him?
He's got so much momentum lately with being paired with those guys.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if he's kind of left without anything to do, then what? Like you said, I don't know.
He'll be in the Andre the Giant.
He'll be the side man, like the pumping him up on the sidelines. I don't know.
Yep.
On the apron.
So I mean,
cheering him on.
I mean, as we wrap, we're going to talk a little more about WrestleMania and talk about maybe matches we're looking forward to or that we hope are going to happen.
Yeah.
Up next was Strowman versus Cesaro, Sammy, and Shinsuke for the IC Championship. I got to say, I was completely surprised in this. I thought it was going to be Strowman railroading the three of them. What happened to me was a huge surprise.
I thought it was a surprise too. I liked it in that, hey, Sammy's got a flipping title. Yeah. And Sami Zayn, if you guys know me, he's one of my top 5 favorite wrestlers right now. He's like awesome. I've always loved him. And I've been kind of bummed lately that he hasn't been wrestling. And he was in this match. It was cool. But at the same time, it's like, I like that he won a lot. But it's like he won in the heelish way. We're like, oh, I'm not in the match. Oh, I am in the match just to get like the win. It's like he's so good. He could have a tear down the walls type of match, and yet they never use him like that.
Right.
So if this leads to something where Sammy gets to wrestle those type of old school awesome matches and not just wrestle like a chicken heel, I'd really like that better. In terms of this, like the result is great, but yeah, his part in it, I'm like, he's just playing typical heel. Although I gotta say, I was skeptical about heel Sammy at first. I really didn't like it, but man, he's so good on the mic as a heel.
He is funny.
Really good.
He is. He's
excelled.
Dave says he deserved it, and he does deserve a belt.
He does. He's incredible. People never friggin' talk about Sammy anymore because he never wrestles. They're like, Sammy, he wrestles still? Yeah, he wrestles. And hopefully he'll wrestle more. I don't know.
We'll see.
I think he's just going to be a chicken heel.
Now, I will say his haluva kick was not very good.
Oh, it was terrible.
That was pretty terrible.
It's really hard, I'm sure, when those guys are like holding him up.
Yeah. No, I know. I'm not
having to get as high as they put him. Like, how do they know what height to do?
Finally, the women's elimination chamber match. We talked about that a little. Right off the bat, Ruby Riot's cannonball off of the chamber was pretty cool visual. Just dropping like she was dropping into a pool on the Natty, as we talked about. Natty took a beating in this.
She did. Oh my God.
Sarah had that great crossbody off the pod. But
she landed completely on Natty's head.
She drilled Natty in the face
with like her knee,
and then Natty's head hit the floor.
Oh, poor Natty. Yeah. I love her so much.
Shayna came in, managed to tap Sarah and Ruby in the span of like 20 seconds, and then again, poor Natty again. The slamming of the door on Natty was another great visual, especially when
she made the first one look good. Yeah. Really good. The camera work too really excelled.
Ends up tapping her out. Asuka, she didn't really get to perform in the ring.
Natty did tap out. You're right.
Yeah. Asuka didn't get to perform a lot in the ring, but her yelling in the pod was one of the funniest things in the whole show.
It was great. I don't know, what was she doing? She's doing this weird hand stuff. She was like,
yeah. I love her just yelling in Japanese and just going crazy, and we don't know what she's saying, but it's just so funny, and she's so animated.
She is great.
But I again, with her, I guess there's going to be a women's tag team match at WrestleMania is my best guess. Her and Kyrie.
She's got to keep wrestling as a tag wrestler. They haven't really been doing too much lately.
Right. What do you all think about returning Ali versus Sammy for the IC title, or a potential multi-man IC title match? I think the second is probably a likely that there'll be, because again, just what we talked about, they seem to want to get so many people into the show. Yeah. That IC title, I could see
it's probably not going to be
a multi-man.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
probably won't be a one-on-one.
But at the same time, I could see it being Braun squashing Sammy in like 30 seconds
for revenge. Yeah.
So
I just see Sammy losing it regardless, and that's why I'm kind of bummed. Like, so he won it in not like a glorious fashion, really, and now he's probably going to turn around and lose it. I don't think he's going to have many great, awesome caliber matches with the IC belt, which is a shame.
But I will say she not so much. I love Mustafa Ali, so
I know.
or just Ali as they changed it to, just like they changed Murphy.
Well, maybe they'll give him a little more of a personality if it is him with this glitch.
Yeah,
I don't know. I just think he was just kind of like, yeah, there's so many great wrestlers, but like, what makes Ali that much different?
Yeah,
that's all. Seeing some of his backstory is a little cool. Like, he does seem like a great guy.
Mm-hmm.
That makes him a little more compelling. But again, they don't really highlight that too much in the forefront. If he's this guy, who knows what they'll do with him?
Yeah, we'll see. How about Shayna blasting Liz into the side of the pod?
Yeah.
I mean, Liv into the side of the pod.
That was great. In fact, like, I think that was the second most brutal part of the match. I mean, like, you had all kinds of, like, poor Natty, like, getting her head basically stomped on when Sarah went off the top. But, yeah, the Liv thing was the second craziest thing. That was nuts.
Yeah.
Because it looked brutal, like, just the camera angle and everything.
Yeah, I said to you during the match, it's amazing that there was enough space there to swing Liv. The camera guy was right there. So to not hit the camera guy...
Yeah.
And hit Liv into the side of the pod was pretty cool, and it was a good visual. And it led to Liv losing by passing out, and then Asuka, as you mentioned, passed out almost as quickly as Liv.
That's the thing. Like, if you're going to have Asuka pass out too, well, you just had flipping Liv pass out, and it, like, lasted the same amount of time. Asuka's supposed to be this big contender. She's gone toe-to-toe with Becky Lynch. She's beaten Becky Lynch before. Of course, not the last time, but still, it's like you've got a former prominent person, and she just goes away so easily. I'm
also surprised that Becky did make an appearance at the top of the stage at the end of the show.
Just to, like, do a stare down?
Right.
Yeah. She did have some cocky, like, looks backstage while she's watching the monitor. I like how she wasn't just doing the whole smiling thing. Like, she did kind of smile, but almost in like I'm intrigued to face you kind of way.
Right.
Hey, C Wrestling UK, thanks for joining us, and thanks everyone who's watching right now. We appreciate all you guys. Leave your thoughts on the pay-per-view in the comments. We'll try to read them. Any grade that you have you give the pay-per-view, drop that too.
Yep. And this is kind of our welcome back. We're not going to go weekly anymore.
On our podcast.
On the podcast. We will do some occasional after live events like this. We're going to try and do a monthly podcast. It was just too much. And I know Kelsi here got a little burned out on wrestling, especially after what happened on the most recent website. So we're going to just kind of ratchet it back a little bit. But, once a month or so, we're going to talk wrestling. And, I think we'll talk probably post WrestleMania, maybe before WrestleMania.
I mean, we'll be there, so it makes sense for us to kind of give a eyewitness kind of experience.
Well, maybe before and after. We'll see.
Yeah.
We're not going to lock into a set time, day, or anything like that. But
it's really just for fun. It's not really like, we have to make this work and we have to have great numbers. Right. Just because, like, I'm getting so burnt out on this wrestling media trying to make it. It's just too hard. You guys, I could fill a whole podcast on the drama with wrestling media. It's not just me. It's like actual stuff that happens and exists.
Yep. Dave, we're glad that you're happy we're back.
Thank you, Dave. We appreciate you.
CK Wrestling says, gotta say, love the pay-per-view until the main event. The final match absolutely sucked, he thought. So I don't know if I would go with absolutely sucked.
Well, it was really quick.
I just didn't like how quick some of it was. Like I said,
a lot of it was quick.
Like I said, I would have had Shayna come out last and then annihilate everybody and give everybody else a longer time to battle.
Yeah, instead of having all those stare downs, which felt like it lasted forever. Like, Shayna's staring down Liv and then Shayna's staring down Asuka. That took forever. Instead, you could have used that for part of like a match if Shayna wasn't in yet.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so in that part, I agree. That was time wasted. I mean, for sure it was 4 minutes where nothing was happening.
Yeah.
So
I don't know about 4. You think it was 4 minutes?
It's 2 minutes between each pod, and
you think it was basically a whole full 2 minutes that she was
pretty much.
It did feel really long. It really did.
Even if it was only a minute and a half, it felt like forever. So,
well, we're glad you like the show, C Wrestling UK. Thanks for dropping your opinion there, because a lot of people are kind of so on it. We gave it a solid B because there were some really good parts. Just I think there were some sloppy parts of matches, and like I said, the main event too was just too quick in my opinion.
Yeah. Want to read that nice comment from C?
I don't like to read nice comments about myself out loud, but I'll read it, I guess. C Wrestling UK says, you 100% keep going. You're really good no matter what you're talking about. You're educated and fair. That's rare. It takes a long time to grow on YouTube, but I'm 100% sure you guys are going to do it. Thanks so much. It's really sweet. I appreciate that.
That is
it's been
nice.
a hard road, but
Yeah.
we're at least going to have some fun and try to talk it once a month.
Yeah, last year, from July until like January of this year was kind of a rough patch for wrestling between two wrestling websites.
Yeah, it really was. It really was.
Especially as we were excited to be on both. But,
well, and it's like, after you have all that content done, it's like not even on our own channel anymore.
Right.
Like all the stuff we did is on those channels. It sucks. There's some great shit, but it's gone.
Let's look forward instead of looking back. And if you have any more comments about tonight's pay-per-view, great. But now we're only a few weeks away from WrestleMania. What are you guys looking forward to at WrestleMania? What are you looking forward to? The match card is starting to come together.
Mm-hmm. I know it's really crazy to say this, but I honestly have hope that they'll do the right thing and put Bray over Cena. I'm just really intrigued by that match. I really am, because the funny thing is, so the last match they had, Bray Wyatt was in the Wyatt family, which did have like a kind of a mythos behind it. It had like a magical feel in terms of like Bray was being all creepy, and there's this great video package. I think that's when they played the Eminem song that I really like, Legacy, in that video package where they're showing like John Cena looking in the mirror and he's like seeing visions of the Wyatt family of Bray. So there was like a supernatural feeling element in that first match, and now it's a whole different kind of supernatural element. It's just gonna be cool to see the comparison. How's it gonna be compared to that last match at WrestleMania 30, and is the result gonna be how we want it to be with Bray going over? What
should be. Hopefully it will be. Goldberg and Roman intrigues me in that.
What?
No, let me finish.
I just said what?
Goldberg and Lesnar was a really great match for as long as Goldberg could go. We knew Goldberg's at 10, 15 minutes at most. And the match at WrestleMania 33 with Brock Lesnar was a terrific match.
It was pretty good.
So Roman has got to match that somehow. Like, to me, the pressure is on Roman to make it as good as Lesnar did against Goldberg.
That's a good point there. And it's like completely different opponents. Him and Roman are two different wrestlers, like completely,
right,
in terms of their style and even their size, in my opinion. I mean, yeah, Roman's big, but like when you think Brock, you just think, I don't know, he comes off in your mind as massive, So to me, it is intriguing in that how are they going to book it? How is the sequence is going to play out?
Yeah.
And, how are they going to make it last any kind of length of time?
Yeah.
It really will be, I guess, up to Roman to kind of carry it, I think.
I think so, too. I mean, as good as Goldberg has looked, especially at his age, I mean, he's still, again, a 10, 12, 13-minute match at most. So Roman, to me, is really going to have to do well in that match, I think.
Yeah, I mean, the pressure's on.
Lesnar and McIntyre, I think, will be solid, but it doesn't excite me, I think the best storyline going is Edge and Randy Orton.
Oh, yeah.
So
that has a lot of layers now behind it because they put a lot of time into the story so far.
That has potential to be really good, hopefully. And look, the pop for Edge is going to be off the chain.
Yeah, it will.
70,000 people going crazy.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy. And he finally gets another WrestleMania moment when he probably thought he never would get one again. So that's pretty special.
Becky and Shayna, I think, is going to be great.
I'm excited about Shayna. I love Shayna. She's like my favorite heel in all of WWE. We've said that for a long time. She's such a good heel. Like, man or woman, she's one of the best heels in WWE. She comes off as, you really are scared. At least I am. When I look at her, I'm like, man, I'm intimidated. So to me, it's someone who's not really putting on an act of being tough. They are tough. So to me, to see her go against Becky, I'd really love to see her win. I don't see that happening, but I'd love that.
Billy Lehman says he wants Drew to win, and
I think he will.
I think he is going to win. Look, this is a guy that Vince fell in love with, 10, 12 years
Tons
ago?
of years ago.
He was going to be the next thing. And, through a series of things, partially on him, partially booking, whatever, it didn't happen. So I think he is going to win.
I think he is too. And the momentum is behind him right now in terms of they're really booking Lesnar as such like a unlikable guy.
Right.
It's awesome. They've done well with telling the story. Heyman's helped too. He always helps building the
he's
story.
great.
He's incredible.
Drew is only winning though because of the BT Sports stuff in the UK, and they need a UK champion. That's probably true too. We can't forget about Charlotte and Rhea Ripley.
I'm excited about that.
Good.
Actually, that might be the match I'm most excited for, more than anything we talked about, because I really love Rhea Ripley. And Charlotte's like the best women's wrestler, period, in my opinion. A lot of people crap on her, whatever. I think she's amazing. I think it's going to be awesome to see how they go against. And it makes NXT seem so important that Charlotte's actually doing this match, you know?
Yeah.
Very revolutionary that she chose to do that.
So, we saw Andrade and Carrillo tonight. Do they go at it again? Does Andrade put the belt against somebody else? That'll be an interesting one.
That's gone on a long time already, but we'll see.
We already mentioned the IC title. What could happen there? Tag team matches are interesting. I mean, Street Profits are the champs. Are they going to get a one-on-one tag team match at WrestleMania?
I feel like there's going to be a lot of tags.
I think that's going to be on the pre-show.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I could see that being them versus 2 or 3 other teams.
That's what I'm saying. Like somebody said earlier, I really do think there's going to be a lot of tags, multi-man tag matches, because you fit everybody in. And like they said, that's what you said. They like to fit in everybody nowadays. It's not a special thing anymore. It's almost not as elite in terms of who gets to be on the show.
Right. KO and Seth Rollins. I almost forgot about that. Looking forward to that.
That's got to be great.
That'll be awesome.
They've built that up for they've done well with that. So, I was kind of criticizing it, comparing it to last year in terms of matches. I just mean in terms of there's so many legends we're over-relying on this year.
Oh, I agree.
But there are some gems to look forward to at WrestleMania, I think. And the build to some of the matches have been great. And if we were talking about build, I mean, last year there was terrible builds to both of the stories we liked. The Kofi build was good, but at the same time, they convoluted it with making him jump through all these crazy hoops. Same thing with the Ronda Rousey, Becky Lynch stuff. That became so ridiculous and confusing and random and weird. It just got to be crazy. So, they had great matches, but the build for both of those weren't necessarily good at all.
Right.
This year, I think there's been some solid build as opposed to last year.
And what about Bayley? Who does Bayley go against?
To me, Bayley isn't the most prominent champion right now, and she's the one I forget about the most.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what, I guess she could go against the sexy Southern Belle again, but or sassy Southern Belle. Well, no, because then they threw in sexy. They made her the sexy, sassy Southern Belle.
That's like her new name?
Yeah, well, so that's what they said on SmackDown. Hi, CJ. I don't know what you do with her. Like I said, I could see Asuka and Kairi defending the tag team belts against Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss.
I could see that because, Alexa just kind of shouted out and called them out when she was doing the Moment of Bliss the other day.
Right. I mean, even though I'd rather see Bayley and Sasha just go against Asuka and Kairi, I think it'd make it for a much better match.
Oh, I think that would be incredible.
But then, then you basically aren't having the SmackDown women's belt on the line at WrestleMania, which I'd be fine with. I'd rather sacrifice that and have Sasha and Bayley go against Kairi and Asuka.
And then Bayley might be a double champion at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I'm looking forward to it, but not super, but
Well, you and I have gone to quite a few now together.
Yeah.
I mean, compare it to how you felt before some of the other ones, like last year. Are you looking forward to this year's Mania more than last year's, or, even the year before?
Well, I would say this one, 33, that we went to in Orlando, there were so many good matches because remember you had Shane versus AJ in that.
That was decent.
You had the return of the Hardy Boys.
Well, we didn't know, but yeah.
But in advance of it, we didn't know.
You couldn't be excited about that, not knowing about it, but yeah.
Even the Roman Undertaker at that point was an interesting build, and Goldberg versus Brock. I was more into that, but I would say I was more into the WrestleMania 30 here in New Orleans.
That was
the
probably,
ones I've been to.
Of all the ones I've been to lately, I mean, 30 was my first, and I think 30 was the best in the last few years.
Yeah, I agree. I would agree.
Yeah.
Israel Vaquera says he wishes WrestleMania was a 2-night event. I'm torn on that too because
Extra price to pay.
extra price to pay. It's spreading it out.
So then really everybody really would be included. Like literally everybody.
But Wrestle Kingdom just did it and it worked.
It worked for them, yeah.
Yeah,
But
so
we didn't go, so I don't know what it would be like to attend.
No.
You know, I don't know how different that would be.
But you would have to cut it down. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say, CJ.
It couldn't be 5 hours each.
3 hours each. Then I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Then the 2-night. But if you're going to do 2 5-hour shows, no way.
Yeah, it's too long. I mean, last year it took us till like 1 a.m. to get back to the hotel. Maybe even later.
Oh, it was later than that. Yeah.
Wasn't it like 3?
Yeah, it was like 3.
Yeah, what am I talking about? It was insane getting out of there because there were so many people. Like, imagine having to deal with that 2 nights. Again, though, New York's different, or New Jersey.
Well, and they messed up with the trains.
They did. So that was, I guess, a special circumstance. But I do not want to deal with that with 2 nights, no matter where it is.
I love Bailey, but I'm with you, Justin. She is the most boring champion right now. There's just nothing to get excited about.
I gotta agree. It's like she's just become stale. I don't know what's going on. It's like they have nothing real for her to do. It just seems like she's squandering. And I don't think it's her fault. It's just like, I'm not a big fan of the heel Bailey character. And I said this about Sammy when he went heel too. I didn't like it. But Sammy has grown into it. And he's really good on the mic. And he has excelled. That doesn't change that Sammy could also be a good babyface. But in terms of Bailey, I don't think she's ever really felt right in the heel role. People wanted to see it. People clamored to see it, to see her go and turn heel. And now it's happened, and I just don't think she's comfortable in it. And that shows, to me. And there's no stories.
And Dave said, too, the role model gimmick, that's fairly common. The heel Bailey's not working. I think you've got to, and soon, have her turn, or Sasha turn, more likely,
against each other. That's been teased for years, and we still don't get it.
And, if Sasha turns on her, then Bailey can go back to being the lovable Bailey, which everybody loves so much more.
And it sells merchandise with kids. To me, it's better for the company. She fits in that role. And yes, Dave talks about like a role model type of thing. Like if Bailey's coming off like a role model, like I just think she's kind of like a sweet, like naive, fun-loving person when she's a baby face. I kind of like it. It seems genuine.
Yeah.
And I feel like wrestlers excel when it seems like they're being a version of themselves. She just can't be a bad person.
Well,
it's
not believable. And
no.
It goes with what CJ said about your Sammy character or comment, is Sammy is good both ways. Like
he could do either.
He's gotten really good as being a heel, even though we weren't sure about that. Bailey, it just doesn't work. She just seems like pouty and miserable.
Yeah.
It's not even a good character.
But like, her mic skills and like her acting doesn't really sell it though either. So even though she's being pouty, it doesn't seem real. Like everything she says, I don't buy it. I don't buy into it.
No, because we're used to seeing Happy Bailey, and Happy Bailey is
the real Bailey. I mean,
there's certain people that just should be heels and should be faces, and
some people can't do both. Some people can.
You can experiment with it, sure, but it doesn't work. Randy Orton is better as a heel. You've said it before. Seth Rollins is better as a heel. Then there's people like Jericho who are good at both.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't understand why Bailey and Sasha were teamed together as faces and as heels.
That's true. I mean, like, that was kind of mismatched and strange, but it is what it is. I mean, I thought they should just go against each other versus teaming together. I mean, it was great that they won, the championships, but at the same time, it's time to give us that feud we've been wanting and clamoring for months and months, years now.
To reclaim what happened at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, which was one of the greatest women's matches of all time.
Yeah.
And arguably one of the great matches in the last 10 years.
Speaking of women's matches, happy International Women's Day. So,
yes, I've been celebrating all day.
Whatever. That's why we had the main event.
I don't know what I'm supposed to say there.
Happy Women's Day.
Happy Women's Day.
That's what you're supposed to say. And so I think it was cool that the women got to main event, but at the same time, I feel like, the match was too short. So at the same time, it's like, yeah, that was cool, but not nearly long enough like they should have had. They should have had the time.
I agree.
Match should have been booked different.
We're gonna wrap things up here momentarily. Any other? There you go, Dave.
See, Dave knows what to say.
Any other last thoughts by any of you? Any questions? Any last comments? If you want to weigh in here in the next couple minutes, otherwise,
I've got a tweet of the week.
Well, reclaiming something from our past, a tweet of the week.
So on our podcast every week, the last few months of our podcast that we were doing, I would always share a favorite tweet of the week. I randomly found this, and it's too good not to share. So it's from @JAIMS Vanderbeek, and it's a picture of Velveteen Dream with Mr. Bean's face, and it says Velveteen Bean. You can't see it. Damn it, the glare. There it is. Wait. Come on, let's get it. We gotta see his. You can see the eyebrows. What the hell? Paul, help. We gotta see this thing. Oh, there you can. There it is. There it is. All right, there it is, guys. You can kind of see it. That is so ridiculous. Anyway, it's the tweet of the week. Velveteen Bean. Mean Bean. Mean Gene. Mean Bean.
Yes.
So put Bean's face on Mean Gene. Anyway.
Promoting a couple things as we wrap things up. Yesterday was National Cereal Day, and Kelsi,
I'm excited,
has Morning Madness coming, and it's going to be 64 cereals going against each other. She's going to put 8 seeds in as her top 8 favorite cereals, but everything else is going to be completely random. And the bracket drawing is Tuesday.
It is correct? Tuesday, and I'm going to try Weetabix. If you guys don't know what Weetabix is, apparently it's like this brick-like cereal. Some people have it with cold milk. Some people have it with warm milk. Mostly like British people. They were telling me all about it. I said I will try it. I have ordered it from Amazon. It should be in by Tuesday. And so not only will I reveal the bracket on Tuesday, I will try Weetabix. I am playing around with trying 2 versions. If you, my assistant, will bring me some more milk, I will try it warm on air.
So that's something that's going to go on all month. She's going to put, once the brackets are out, she's going to
polls. Yeah.
There's going to be polls every day. And we will see who is the champion of cereal.
Let me tell them my 8 seeds. I think.
Since you've already revealed it on Twitter, so sure.
All right, so my 8 seeds: Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Rice Krispie Treats, and I want to specify Rice Krispie Treats cereal, the 90s recipe, because this is the only thing I'm kind of finagling on. There is. The cereal still exists, but they've changed the recipe. And since it's my bracket and my favorite, my top 8 seeds, my top 8 seeds includes Rice Krispie Treat cereal. The only cheating I'm doing is that it's kind of the 90s recipe version, not the today version. Anyway, Captain Crunch is another seed, Lucky Charms, Fruit Loops, Cocoa Pebbles, this cereal no one's heard of, Honey Graham O's, and Frosted Mini Wheats. So I'm pretty darn excited.
All delicious. And that is not in any order of her 8 seeds. Those are just going to be 1 and 2 seeds that will be plugged into the bracket. Every other cereal is going to be strictly by chance. It's going to be drawn out of a hat. And the bracket reveal is Tuesday night.
Please tune in. I'm very excited about it.
It's funny. The NCAA tournament bracket reveal is a week from tonight, but the cereal review is going to get the jump on Tuesday.
Yeah. I got another thing to plug quickly is that I'm also doing some really fun pop culture themed things coming up. I've got a stream that's going to be about 90s kids movies, and I think I'm going to try to do that either at the end of this month or the beginning of April. We'll see, because WrestleMania might interfere with the timing on that. It's either going to be before or after Mania, right before or right after. But it's going to be a lot of fun. We're talking all kinds of 90s kids movies. We're talking Heavyweights, Goofy movie, Home Alone, of course. We can't not talk Home Alone. So many fun movies. We got Hook. We got Mrs. Doubtfire. Lots of Robin Williams. He was very popular in the 90s, by the way. And lots of interesting facts, tidbits, all kinds of random trailers. In fact, I'm going to go through movie taglines as well. That should be a lot of fun. And look out for that.
And make sure you check out her great video that she did last week on Free Willy. Excellent. Well-researched. If you want to be entertained and learn, she's dropping the knowledge on this one.
Yeah, I mean, and I've got fun little 90s trailers, like, I have the trailer from the 90s of Free Willy. I also have trailers of other Orca-themed documentaries. I figured out a way to put trailers in my stream. Really proud of that. I had some fun graphics too. So yeah, if you guys would check it out, it would really mean a lot. It's a long stream, but I don't think it was boring. I think it was really if I do say so myself, it was well researched.
Yeah.
I spent like, God, it had to be at least 48 hours. Well, maybe 24.
Yes.
Maybe 48's pushing it. But I don't know. I spent many nights all week researching.
To answer your question, Dave, this is an All-State Sugar Bowl hat. It was just a media gift for covering the game this year. So that's all it is. And Justin, Cinnamon Toast Crunch wins by default. Mini wheat is underrated. I agree on both of those. Those are two of my favorites. Although you asked me to pick my favorite cereal, I can't pick.
But you just said those two are your favorite.
No, I said they are two of my favorites.
Well, can you think of any other ones you love? I know you like Captain Crunch.
I do like Captain Crunch. I mean, I like. There's not many cereals I don't like. Like even Raisin Bran's not my favorite.
Raisin Bran Crunch is good.
But I don't mind Raisin Bran. Oh, you mean the hat you're going to use?
To pull the names out of the cereal.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were asking what my hat was. I don't know. Do you have a special hat?
Huh. Maybe we have to do a special.
Or you could pull it out of that assorted cereal box up there.
Maybe we'll put it in an empty cereal box. That would be thematic.
Yeah, well, because it's an assortment pack, which has a bunch of
maybe that's what we'll do. And I could shake them too. That would be easier to shake. Put them in the box, close the box, shake them, open it up. That's a good idea because I was thinking like, how are they going to get mixed up and shaked up or shaken up, whatever? I wish I had a wheel, like those cool wheels.
The bingo wheel.
I don't know why I'm doing the Price is Right theme.
That does the balls?
Yeah. I'm somehow singing the Price is Right theme, though.
Yes. So,
but Paul's hat now is cool, too.
I guess.
We're doing the cereal box, I think we've decided. The assortment box.
I thought you were taking a legitimate interest in my hat for some reason. No, that's...
What's your hat say?
Also,
no one cares what your hat says!
Yeah, which, by the way, was one of the funniest things in the XFL game the other night when sideline reporter comes over... And she
or it doesn't matter what your hat says.
And the player said, "What's your name?" Oh, I'm Diana. It doesn't matter what your name is. That was fantastic.
Yeah.
Which, by the way,
doesn't matter what your hat is.
Don't know if you guys have been enjoying the XFL, but we've been to a couple games now, one for work and one for fun.
Yeah, we got to be in the press box area.
Yeah,
definitely different than the NFL. Let's just say that. In terms of press area.
Yeah, especially because she was sitting next to the DC Defenders. Social media guys, and they were like cursing up a storm.
It was so weird.
Yelling about the game.
You don't do that in the press box, by the way. You're not supposed to do that.
All right, we're getting off topic. So
this is all wrestling related. The XFL, Vince McMahon.
This is true.
And in fact, remember the guy in your package was like, "We're thankful to," and he got cut. Is that the one who said thanks to Vince McMahon?
No. Yeah, I mean, there was a guy that said thanks to Vince McMahon, but he's not the one.
He's not the same one who got cut. Okay. So Paul did a really cool package on these guys, so thankful to be in the XFL, to have another opportunity to play. They all went to LSU. Paul does an LSU show. And so that's how we tied it in.
And I would put it online, but the SEC is very strict about SEC content online.
Yeah. Any B-roll footage.
And since there's video of the guys at LSU. Nope. Don't say anything else, Justin. I'm DVRing the game. So I don't want to hear what's going on in the Tampa LA game. I'm going to watch that when we're done here. So,
all right. Well, we're about to wrap up right now. We thank you guys for giving us your time. Again, if you didn't get a chance to drop your thoughts on the pay-per-view, you could always tweet at me at SuperKickingIt, SuperKickingIt. Please give us a like on this video. Please share if you really enjoyed it. Also, where can they follow you?
At PBoron88. And
look out for more podcasts. Are we officially saying that or not?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. At least we're going to shoot for once a month. And we'll probably try and do one again maybe before we leave for WrestleMania.
And our Twitter we never use is at TwoFacePod, TWOFACEDPOD. Definitely, yep, like we said, subscribe. If you guys haven't already subscribed, that would mean a lot to me especially because I'm trying to grow this channel to be bigger and better than ever.
Yes.
And lots of pop culture content to come, and every now and then some wrestling stuff with my boy Paul here.
Yep.
So thanks, you guys. Appreciate your time. Hope you have a great rest of the evening. And unless you're in Britain, which I guess it's in the middle of the night.
It's creeping up on morning.
Well, then have a great rest of the morning to you.
All right, bye, everyone.
See you guys.